Hello, friends. All of our children bend or break the rules and test limits sometimes. When we as parents respond in a reasonable manner, children learn to make better choices in the future. But not all adult interventions are created equal. There's a big difference between natural consequences and punishments. What are punishments? What do you think of when you hear the word punishment? Punishments are about making someone feel badly, physically or emotionally, for their mistakes. What happens with children when we punish them is the attention from the child is on the adult and the adult's power. The child typically learns to be fearful or becomes angry. Here are some examples I have seen in the last 25 years. A 4-year-old refuses to sit down in the grocery cart when she's told. Her father spanks her. A 7-year-old talks back to his mother because he doesn't want to wear a mask in the store, now with COVID. And his mother makes the child eat dinner alone for the rest of the week and says, "Since you cannot think about anyone but yourself, you can be by yourself." A 9-year-old misbehaves at school. Her parents say to her, "You cannot go to any birthday parties for the rest of the school year." A 12-year-old doesn't clean his bedroom. His parents take each item on the floor out of his room and make him pay to get each item back. True story. As you can see from these examples, punishments are often unrelated to the behavior problem, and they may feel or be severe in nature. Sometimes they are just meant to shame the child, and let them know who's in charge. Also, punishments often cause children to feel bad about who they are, as opposed to what they did. Punishments are often counterproductive because they, by their very nature, encourage children to focus on their anger towards the parents rather than think about what they can do better next time. For example, a child may think, "My mom is mean and I don't like her," instead of, "I made a mistake. What will I do different next time?" Punishments reflect back to the accuser or the enforcer, where consequences reflect back on the child by the child. So, what are consequences? Consequences focus on teaching children how to do better in the future by kindly but firmly and consistently placing the focus on the behavior of the child, not the power of the adult. Consequences are created by adults and sometimes the child too. Something can be done proactively where they agree upon what will happen if this misbehavior happens and are directly related to that misbehavior. Relating to the behavior is key. For example, let's take the same examples I used on punishment and connect them to natural consequences. So a 4-year-old refuses to sit down in the grocery cart when he's told. His parents tell him, "If you choose to stand up, then you will need to hold my hand and not sit in the cart. You decide." So the power is put into the child, but the parent is controlling the environment. A 7-year-old talks back to his mother because he doesn't want to wear a mask during these COVID days when they go to the store. His mother tells him, "This is not a conversation. It is a rule for others' safety and yours. If you are not ready to talk respectfully, then you can go to your room until you are ready. I will be waiting." A 9-year-old misbehaves at school. A parent says, "I'm confused why you chose to misbehave at school. We need to discuss this, and then you will need to sincerely apologize to your teachers. Until this is done, there can be no extracurricular activities." Or a 12-year-old does not clean her bedroom after being told, "I am confused why you have chosen not to keep your room cleaned after we discussed this as an expectation for everyone in the family. I know you have plans to go see a movie with your friends today. You are welcome to go as soon as your room is cleaned. As you can see, with each of these natural consequences, they were related to the issue at hand, and each involved respectful conversation. There was also consistency in those. It's important to remember we get more of what we focus on with our children and what we as parents model to our children. Punishments may work in the short term. Children may comply when they fear you or when they want to stop pain from being inflicted upon them or humiliation. But in the long term, punishments backfire every time. They lose effectiveness because children aren't learning the skills they need to make better choices. Often their motivation is, next time I won't get caught. On the other hand, consequences help children see that they made a bad choice, but they are not bad. They are capable of doing better in the future because they are good. Ultimately, consequences are more effective in improving behavior problems in children and learning life skills. I know when my son was very little, he used to say, "Can't you just spank me? I don't want to talk about this. I don't want a natural consequence." I know it was harder for him to have to deal sometimes with natural consequences than what he saw some parents of his friends would just swat their bottom. But that wouldn't teach him anything. And in the end, natural consequences is a harder road to take, but I encourage you to take it. The parenting journey is not an easy one. If I can be of more support to you, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you. See you next week.